Hello. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I was doing the awkward thing like that. I was like trying to do the volume thing up here and I was staring at the screen. I was like, I hope everybody's doing well. Look, if you could drop a number one off in the comment section so I know you can hear me pretty, please. I do appreciate it. Wait, let me put myself on mute on this other screen. Um, so yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. We are at Tuesday, our first little installment of the week. Okay, we got some ones, and we have an Emily. Emily, I hope you're doing well. I hope your move's going well. Um, I hope all is being settled and going well and all the fun stuff for you. I do appreciate you being here to hold the old sofa cushions down. And hello, Miss Shana. I hope you're doing well. My little South Carolina-ish neighbor and Indy, I hope you are doing well as well. And I hope the rest of the Sofa Squad is doing well. So, y'all, a couple of things. First of all, you see the little whatever you call it, the what do you call that thing? The poll up there. I did like a members and Patreon poll of the three things and asked like cases, and these were kind of the three most popular ones across all the channels. And it looks like so far people are wanting to do Gran Amato, also probably because that's kind of in the news again. I'm recording a video on that case tomorrow about it, and I secretly was like, oh, I want to do that one next too. So we'll see how it goes. The rest of the thing, we'll probably do that one there. Hey John, how's it going? Hey Tux, hey Amanda. Um, and so there's that. Now that doesn't mean we're not going to watch the other ones, but it's like literally like which one next. So we'll kind of do this as we go because one thing that you're seeing too is like when certain cases come back in the headlines, it makes it like, oh, well, let's check this one out. Now I was just reading some, and now there's too many comments for me to find it. Um, so somebody mentioned another case that was like really deep and dark. I'll look it up. I'll look it up. Please hold. Wait, hold on one second. Okay. Now, so y'all today, so a couple of things. So there's that. Tomorrow's video is the Zizian cult group video. Then I'm gonna record the video that I told you, just now or whatever tomorrow, so I'll be up a few days. Um, I recorded like an hour-long video yesterday, or was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, of 2 episodes of Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt's podcast from Connections. Y'all, you already know if pure cringe, right? It'll literally have you wanting to come up like through the screen, okay, like the hypocrisy of it or whatever. Um, it's that frustrating, right? So yeah. Also, we have new merch and a new merch store. This is the cup, one of them. I'm drinking it from the cup. I only have like 3 cups up there right now. This is the Can't Roll My Eyes Hard Enough one. I'll add stuff as we go. Please hold. Oh yeah, yeah. Danny said it. Megan Huntsman. I just pulled it up over here on the thing, so I'm gonna look at it. But yeah, these are in the shop or whatever. This is like you can get them. One thing I like about Fourth Wall, number one, they sent it to me within a week. Number two, you can get 3 different size mugs, and I'm just getting the 20-ounce one, right? Hey Dread, how's it going? Hey Amy G, hey Anita, hey Charlie. Yeah, love the big ones, right? They're just with a handle and everything like that. Yeah, Danny, I'll look out for that one. Okay, let's see here. We did that. We did that. Now, speaking of, so I can't remember where I put this, but um, this case right here, the one we're doing today, the next day it was like seared in my brain. Okay, like I think that I've been like accustomed to the ridiculousness of like Sarah Boone and like Lori Daybell, even though that was like really horrible. Um, so I don't. This one was just haunting. Okay, like pure haunting. Hey Lauren, how's it going? Hey Trish. So yeah, I'm glad that we're watching this. This one was a totally different vibe, right? This was like a totally different vibe. I went to sleep the other night and don't have to listen to what I just said. This was horrible. This really scarred me. And then the next thing out of my mouth is going to be this. I went to sleep the other night listening to a documentary on this psychopath. I don't know why I do this, right? You would think I have horrifying nightmares, but I really don't. Unless like real life is stressed out. Hey Donna, how's it going? Unless like real life is stressed out. But like I literally just sit here and I pull it up on my phone and then I put the phone under the pillow and I have it like this. And like probably half the reason too is that I fall asleep so fast. You know what I mean? Now the other thing that I'm recording tomorrow, okay, like you know how people on YouTube will say this all the time, like so many of you, and I do it too. I'm not trying to say like I do this too. So many of you have like reached out and asked me about my hair care product or whatever it is, right? Oh, thanks Arizona Kelly for gifting 5 memberships. Okay, so literally, if we did it in the live chat the other day, the 911 phone call that Idaho for y'all. And so for me, I want to say like it was less than 10 emails, but above 5, and then several Instagram DMs. And I think that was no, I already said the email thing. I think that was it. So for me, that's like a lot. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna record a video, an official video for the main channel on the 911 phone call. And I've listened to it like 5 times today on different things. And I'm just like, okay, and the interview with the father on News Nation now. So anyways, so that'll be that's all the kind of stuff going on there. That's it. Lori Daybell sounds like she's gonna be taking the stand. 100% will talk to herself. 100% will talk to herself. She will get on the stand, do something, and then turn around and then get off. I would love to see her get an argument, but like a fight with herself. I think it would come to blows, right? So puppy update. First of all, puppy update also before we get started. The dogs are in the bedroom. You might hear them squeaking in the back. They're in the bedroom with Matt. I had to put them in there and close the door because they are obsessed with the front door that leads out into like the main wall, like hallway where people are. Luke, y'all, I cannot. Oh my gosh, bless his heart. Luke goes up to it and sniffs the bottom. Now, obviously, if somebody walks by, they're gonna whatever. And like at this hour, people are coming and going. Luke stays glued to that door and barking and screeching, and I'm like, I can't take it. So I had to put him in the room. Obviously, I'm going live. Matt's taking a nap, and he's in there melting for the last 15 minutes. Like it is absolutely killing him. So I told Matt, I said, we have got to get something in section off to where they can get to the front door because last night at 10:30, all of a sudden I started hearing a kid yelling, right? And I'm talking like a young kid, like in the way of imagine like almost like toddler sounds, but older than a toddler. And I'm like, who is out at 10:30 at night doing this? Like, who would let their kid? And then I started thinking about it because the dogs were going berserk. And then I was like, wait a minute. Like, you know how it takes you a minute for something to register that it's not normal? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wait, why is there a kid playing in the hallway at 10:30? You know what I mean? Like that's weird. Especially when it never happens that often. And so then I like got the dogs away and I was like, well, let me go look at like let me make sure there's not because then I'm like, well, what if something happened to the parent and the kids just like wandered out in the hall or something? You know what I mean? And so I go to the hallway thing here and I can then hear it's on the second floor. So that's how loud this kid's being, right? And like we're in the middle. So it's like it's voice traveling. I can hear an adult interacting with said kid. So I don't know if I don't know what was going on. Something had to be happening, but literally, y'all, everybody, I thought I was bad being like, hush, hush to the dogs and stuff when they get going. Y'all, everyone's dogs were going crazy. I mean, I don't know what these people were doing. Like, it had to be something specific, like, because it doesn't happen that often. But yeah, so I thought we were going to have drama, but we didn't. Like, just basic doggy drama last night. So, anyway, yeah, there they go. Matt's texting me, come get the dogs. I'm like, I can't right now. They need to chill out. So anyways, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, what we're doing is this is part 2. So we're literally going to pick back up where we left off at. So for those who maybe didn't join or not know or whatever, this is the interrogation of Russell Williams. We're watching this via the Mob Reporters channel. They have lots of interrogations up there. Make sure to sub to them. It's a good resource. Russell Williams was brought in. He is, is a very highly decorated colonel in the Canadian. And is it called the military? What is it called up in Canada? Is it the military? But highly decorated, and he's brought in, and essentially, like, this is like, I would almost say a historic interrogation in the true crime world. Hey, feeding it, how's it going? It's good seeing your face or your name. You know what I'm saying? And so basically this investigator just walks him through a full-on confession. And so to me, you're watching, honestly, armed forces. Thank you, Jennifer. You're watching someone just confess to these absolute horrors, but it's interesting to see the wheels turn in this dude, right? And then when you hear about what he did, you're like, oh my god, this is literally my face the last video. Like, I was mouth and the jaw on the floor. So he has apparently a fetish for wearing, like, pardon me, undergarments. Excuse me. Ladies' undergarments, and so that was part of it. He was, he's nervous about the pictures being seen. Obviously, they're all out there. And when I listened to the podcast and started listening to his trajectory of crimes, y'all, Ted Bundy. It's what this dude's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So that's the synopsis. We're halfway through it. He's already confessed. He's gotten the map. He's been telling them what's going on, this, that, and the other. And now, trigger warning, we ended it like when he was in the middle of like some dark stuff. Okay. So if you're coming in and you're like, I don't know if this one's going to be for me, we're immediately going into like pure evil. Okay. So there's that. Just know that this is your chance. Okay. Dawn, you watched Fox Hollow last night? Oh my god, right? Oh. Yeah, Indy says this guy's creepy because he seemed like any normal guy, but what a monster. That's what's for real, Indy. Like, you could see this dude like mowing his grass in the neighborhood, stopping like, hey, hey, what's up? Totally normal, right? Okay, so let me get this going. Now, when it starts talking, or when they start talking, drop a 1 and let me know that you can hear it, please. And thank you. Okay.
And then got her dressed.
Already.
Okay. At what point did you decide that she was going to leave with you?
I'm not sure. That wasn't necessarily always the plan. But at some point, I was there for three hours, 3 and a bit.
Okay. Do you remember the conversation about leaving? Was there any? Did she say anything about that, or what was she saying to you?
She was certainly cooperative.
Okay. Cooperative can mean a number of different things. Was she excited about leaving with you? I mean, I don't want to be sarcastic, but
this part, the silence that he does where he's thinking, and Courtney, I think it was you that said he's so uncomfortable talking about the women. Yeah, it's so interesting and creepy and unsettling watching how he is probably replaying the stuff like in his mind of it, but talking to this detective or investigator, and how he divulges the information. And it's like, it's something about it. The way that he's doing it makes you realize just how bad it was. And I don't know any other way to really say that, but it like just drives home how horrible this dude was to these poor women. Oh, here we go.
No, she just didn't put up too much of a fuss.
did she try and negotiate with you at all, or? What did she say?
Well, I told her that I would let her go later on.
Okay. So when you take her out of your house, is she still bound, or?
Yep.
How is that done?
Just hands behind her back.
What about her feet? Anything there?
No, she was walking freely.
Hey, Tori.
Barefoot or?
No, she had those brown suede shoes on that had been reported.
Okay. A cooperative can mean a number of different things. Was she excited about leaving with you? I mean, I don't want to be sarcastic, but
No, she just didn't put up too much of a fuss.
did she try and negotiate with you at all, or
No.
what did she say?
Well, I told her that I would let her go later on.
Okay.
I don't know why it rewound like that.
So when you take her out of your house, is she still bound, or?
Yep.
How is that done?
Just hands behind her back.
What about her feet? Anything there?
No, she was walking freely.
Barefoot or?
No, she had those brown suede shoes on that had been reported.
Okay.
The way he knows that detail.
So where does she sit in your truck when you get to the truck?
Front seat, passenger side.
And where do you go?
Straight to Tweed.
Straight to your house in Tweed, or straight
Yeah.
to just the town?
Straight to the house.
No stops anywhere?
No.
Okay. What time, do you remember what time you arrived there?
I don't exactly, but I'd say between 4:30 and 5:30.
Okay. All right. When you were first there before she came home, do you remember, did anybody come to the door at all when you were in the house?
No, I think somebody had come home, somebody had come to the house just before she did, because I thought it was her, but then they left. I was outside at the time.
Did you see who that person was, or what kind of vehicle they were in, or anything?
Saw the lights, and I assumed it was her, and then all of a sudden they left, so I don't know what happened.
Where were you when that first vehicle pulled up?
In the back here.
So you didn't have a view of the vehicle, you could just tell that there was a vehicle there, is that fair? Okay. So you get home, what, 4:35 you say? Okay. And then what happens?
Well, she would go to the bathroom and a quick shower, wash her. Then we went into my bedroom and to sleep a little bit. She was tied up.
How was she tied up at that point?
Hands behind her back. I put tape over her eyes from the beginning. So that's what she had.
Okay. When they find her, is that tape going to be there, or was it ever removed?
No, I removed it.
What kind of tape?
Duct tape.
The duct tape that you used, where's that roll?
It's all gone. I used the rest of it to bind her body.
So by all gone, is it with the body now? Okay. So you said, who went to sleep when you came home? You had a shower, or she had a shower?
Well, we both got in. I washed her off after she'd been to the bathroom. We both went to sleep. But she was tied up and I had tied the rope. So I could fall asleep a little bit and she could move without waking me up.
Can you imagine being able to go to
I'm trying to
sleep?
picture how that would be. So
I
the
mean,
rope's tied
this
to
is
what on
crazy.
her?
Just tied her hands behind her back.
Okay. And
then the rope just wrapped around me a couple of times, so there was no slack.
do you remember how long you slept for?
Not long, maybe a couple hours.
Do you know if she slept?
I don't know.
Okay. So you wake up and
And it wasn't, I mean, we were up and down. So it wasn't 2 hours straight. It was 2 hours in bed. But it wasn't much sleep, just lying there probably.
so you get up from that, and what happens next?
She had a seizure, actually. She felt it coming on, and because she'd had some before. Lasted quite a while. Got her dressed into the family room, and anyway, she recovered. She got obviously stress, but probably went on for about 15 minutes. Part of it.
So
Yeah.
how do you know she had them before?
She told me.
Did she tell you why she gets them?
Well, she suggested it was stress. Yeah, so she felt herself start to tense up and said she thought she was going to have a seizure. So it was convulsions is what she was having.
What a horrible way for your life to end.
So she recovered from that?
Yeah, she I stayed with her and talked her through it and made sure she didn't bite her tongue.
Okay.
I bet he ridiculed her the whole time.
And then what happened?
Well, then we had a little lie down right there because she was obviously exhausted. Put a cover over her and she went to sleep. Wait for an hour or so. And I had told her earlier that before I let her go, I wanted to take some pictures of her in her underwear. And have sex with her. So after she'd had a rest for an hour or so, I had her put on a number of different outfits she had.
I'm sorry?
Put on a number, pairs. Penny's bra that she had.
Okay.
Taken from the house.
She was probably sitting there
She put
thinking,
those on and I took pictures.
surely he'll let me go after this. You know what I'm saying? Nope.
Are you in any of these pictures?
Yep.
What a monster.
What kind of images are you in?
Go and tell him, Russell.
Well, I'm with her. There's on the hard drives, you'll see there's video as well.
Oh, so he took
There's
pictures.
video of the almost 4 hours, I guess.
Of what?
I thought he just took pictures of himself in ladies' undergarments.
Well, of initially at her place of raping her. And then, so I was running the video and then taking still pictures. So the video pretty much covers everything.
I literally am here for
Did you use
him.
video at other places?
At Raleigh NC as well.
And is that video on the hard drives?
Yeah.
Same type of activity?
I'm so eager for him to have to admit that he was the one in the undergarments.
So Jessica poses for these pictures and there's videos and then what happens?
Then I got her dressed because she thought she was leaving. Got a bite to eat. Fruit. And then as we were walking out, I struck her on the back of the head.
When did you decide to do that?
Well, I was pretty sure that I wasn't going to let her leave. But, the idea of striking her on the head was developed in the afternoon.
And what was that strike supposed to accomplish in your mind? What was the intent of doing that?
Well, I thought I would be able to knock her out, and then I was going to strangle her.
Okay. So when you actually do strike her, what's the result?
Her skull gave way a little bit. Felt like, and there was a lot of blood, so I think that's what happened. She was immediately unconscious. And then I strangled her.
How'd you strangle her?
Same rope. Just put her on her neck.
Okay.
While she was unconscious.
Now, what happened to the zip tie that was around her neck earlier?
I took it off. Around then, I guess.
Did you take it off before you put the rope around her neck or after, or do you remember?
After she was dead.
Oh, okay. So the zip tie was around her neck while you used the rope?
Mhm.
Okay. Did you leave the rope around her neck?
No.
Okay. And how did you know she was dead?
She, her body stopped moving.
So what did you do after that?
I bound her up to a there's her fetal position. Cleaned up the floor.
No, you say you bound her up. Are you referring to the duct tape that you talked about earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. So then what did you?
I put her in the garage. It was very cold. And then I went into the base.
Okay. Why'd you go to the base?
Pardon me?
Why'd you go to the base?
Because I was flying early the next morning.
So what time did you leave to go to the base?
Well, I told you about between 9 and 10 or so.
On the Friday night?
Yeah.
Okay. So you fly and
Then I drove home to Ottawa.
so which night would you?
Saturday night.
So you land and what time are you landing?
6:30.
Okay.
Saturday night.
Did you go by the house in Tweed on your way to Ottawa? Or?
No.
So you drove straight home to Ottawa?
He was
What
that
time did you get there?
comfortable
Do you remember?
just leaving her body.
Sometime before midnight. I can't quite remember, but I think I went in the office first, did some work. So I think I got home to Ottawa just before midnight, something like that. I think. Not sure. I slept for a little bit at the Tim Hortons in Brockville. So it might be later. I honestly can't remember when I got to Ottawa, but
Okay.
Yeah. Midnight-ish, Saturday.
Mhm. So you get home, you're in Ottawa. What do? You go to bed or
Yeah.
stay up? Okay. So then what do you do the next day?
Well, my wife and I did some stuff. I can't remember what was going on that day. Putting together the new house. And I headed back to Tweed that night.
Mhm.
Sorry. No, I didn't. I had Monday off. That's right. I had Monday off, and then I was visiting one of the units in Ottawa on Tuesday. So I didn't head back to Tweed till Tuesday night.
Okay. So you get back to Tweed, and what happens next?
I took Jessica's body to that spot.
That happened on Tuesday night? Just this past Tuesday, obviously. Okay. Do you remember what time that was?
It was pretty late. It was midnight-ish. I'd say between midnight and 1 on Wednesday morning.
What made you decide to measure that distance, that 0.7 kilometers?
That's just the way I am. Numbers. Have to know the numbers.
And how did you leave her?
I just left her tucked behind a fairly large rock.
Is that duct tape still on her?
Why are they never scared about the body being found? I'd be
What
a
else
nervous
is on it?
wreck.
A couple of towels wrapped around her head. And the top and pants, she was wearing jeans.
Did you ever go back there?
No.
Right. What other type of cleaning and things like that did you do? Anything else to kind of cover your tracks that you can think of?
I vacuumed the house and I wiped the floor, washed the floor.
What about your truck? Did you do anything with that?
Just washed today because it was a mess and vacuum.
Okay. So Marie France, when did it first occur to you to go to her house?
Well, probably in October, November, not quite sure, but somewhere in that time frame.
And do you remember why you thought to do that?
Well, she had said she lived alone when the one time I met her.
Mhm. Just trying to understand why her versus the dozens of other women you probably come across on a daily basis.
I don't know. I went out there when she wasn't home just to see where she lived.
See, I wonder if he would pit these
When
women,
did
if he
you
was
do that?
fantasizing at work about doing this
A
to
couple of
them.
nights before.
How did you know her address?
There's a nominal roll for the basement.
So when you go out there a couple of nights before, do you remember what night that was when you were there first time?
I don't, but it was within 2 or 3 nights, I think.
Okay.
Probably, well, no more than 4 anyway, something like that.
And did you actually go into her house on that occasion, or did you? Okay. So what happened that night? How'd you get into her house?
This window on the side of the basement, side window.
This is
Just
so
backstep a
creepy.
bit. How did you get to her house that first night you went there?
I drove.
What did you drive?
I think I drove my truck. Kind of find her.
Did you remember where you parked it?
Yeah, I parked it a bit of a division in the residential areas there. I parked it on another side. 600-700 meters away.
Okay. So not on her street, on a different street. Do you remember what street you parked on?
No, but it's actually might be the same street, but there's an interruption in the street where there's a construction zone. So there's a pathway in between. So I think it's probably the same street.
So you go to her house, and when you went there that night, did you know that she was away?
I'm not sure if I knew entirely, but I think I thought she was away.
Is that based on her schedule, or how would you know that?
Well, because I fly with the squadron, I have access to the schedule, and
Okay.
it's a slightly different schedule she has, but that's probably how I know.
You don't know for sure?
I think that's probably how I know.
So you go to her house,
Mhm.
and what do you do that night, the first night?
I looked around and and make sure that she was living there or not.
And I'm sorry, did you say, I can't remember if you said, how did you get in?
Same way. Back side basement window.
Side basement window? Okay. Do you remember what kind of window it is? Like what made it,
Well, I just noticed it was, the flashlight, I could see that it was not locked. It had been opened slightly. So I removed the screen so that it opened. Went in.
so you go in and you're in her house, figuring out she lives alone, and do you do anything that night?
Yeah, I was playing with her underwear.
You mean playing with her underwear?
Here we go.
Wearing it.
Say it louder.
Doing anything else?
Go on, show off
No.
those pictures, Russell. Be proud of it. You did it. I was playing,
I mean, you didn't touch her
right?
stuff. I mean, you touched her underwear, but
Yeah. Nothing else.
okay. Did you take any of the underwear with you that night?
Yeah, a few pieces.
And where did you find the underwear when you went in?
Your drawer.
Was it clean? Was it used?
Clean.
Anything else you can remember doing that evening? That you...
No.
All right. So, after that first visit, did you return again before meeting up with her?
No.
Okay. So, which day did you go to her house when she was there?
Well, the night before I went to Ottawa, so I think that was Monday night.
All right. So let's walk through that. What time do you think you got there?
About 11 or so, probably. 10:30, 11.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was on the phone in her room. I could hear that from the backyard. I got in through the side window.
The same basement window?
Mhm.
How could you hear from the backyard? What was...
Just hear her on the phone. From beside the house. Could hear her through the walls that she was on the phone.
Any idea who she was talking to or what she was talking about?
Couldn't hear that well.
Okay. So you go in through the basement window. And what are you wearing when this is happening?
Sweatshirt and Dockers, I guess. And the 2 pieces on my head.
Where are those 2 pieces now? Pieces that you wore on the head.
They're probably in my bag, in my luggage bag in Edison in the bedroom.
What does your luggage bag look like?
It's a blue duffel bag type thing. It's right beside the bed.
Is it the only blue duffel bag in your bedroom?
Mm-hmm.
And these pieces, what do they look like again?
Yeah, was he wearing panties on his head?
Blue headband.
I thought he did have panties on his
Standard blue winter headband. And
Y'all remember that movie, Raising Arizona, when Nicolas Cage robs the store in the beginning and he's wearing some pantyhose on his head and he opens the truck door and that guy goes, "Boy, you've got a panty on your head." Hold on, let me see if I have closed captions. Oliver? No, it's not on here, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, Oliver. Okay, here we go. Sorry.
black skull cap type thing.
Any insignias or anything on them?
Yeah, there are, but I don't know what they are. The blue headband has something stitched, a name of some sort stitched on it. And the skull cap has some sort of emblem on white emblem on the black. I don't know what it is.
Are they like sports emblems or company emblems or?
It's the manufacturer's.
Okay. Anything else in that blue duffel bag?
I don't think so.
Is it full of things other than?
Just my clothes.
Okay. So you go in. Do you remember what you had on your feet?
In the house there?
When you went to Marie France's house?
Probably running shoes. There wasn't snow on the ground.
So you go in and you're in the basement. And whereabouts in the basement are you?
By the furnace.
Okay. And what are you doing? Like, what's your sort of plan at that point?
I was waiting for her to go to bed.
Okay. And how long did that take?
Well, she didn't. Because then she came down looking for the cat.
All right. And what happens next?
And as I described, I subdued her. Gave her the flashlight. But essentially, wrestled her to the ground and tied her up.
Okay. And what did you use to tie her up?
Same rope, green rope. It's in tweed.
Is it just green or like how long is this piece of rope?
It's probably 20 feet. It's a boat rope. It's got some red specks in it, I think.
Okay. Is there lots of ropes in tweed, or is this probably the only rope?
No, there are two lengths.
2 lengths of the same green rope? And were they both used?
Well, I only ever had one with me, so I don't know if I used the same piece both times or not, but only 2 lengths of rope.
Okay. So you tie her up. How did you tie her up after you subdued her? Okay. And what is she wearing at that point?
She wasn't wearing anything to start with.
So when she came down to the basement, she had no clothes on?
Mm-hmm. She had some sort of a shawl over her shoulder.
Okay.
And she immediately dropped when she saw me.
Did she say anything when she saw you?
She did. She called out, "You bastard."
Okay. And then what happened?
Then I subdued her as I described.
By hitting her with that red flashlight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, there were more glancing blows. Cut her skin, but weren't doing much else.
Okay.
She fell over and then I subdued her. She tripped.
How did you tie her at that point? Like, I know you used the rope, but what did you tie her up like?
Just pulled her hands behind her back and just tied her wrists together.
Okay. And then what happened after that?
Then I took her upstairs.
Did she go upstairs under her own power, or did you carry her?
No, she passed out on the stairs. And then I carried her up.
Why do you think she passed out?
I expect from the hits to her head.
So you carried her up to where?
To her bedroom, put her on the bed.
And then what happened?
Well, as I described, I think she's on the bed. I raped her over a period of time.
And again, just to be specific, what sex acts took place?
Just vaginal.
Your penis and her vagina?
Yeah.
Any condom use?
No.
Did you ejaculate?
No.
Did you ejaculate at any point with her?
No.
Okay. Just before I forget, I think I asked you, don't mean to bounce around on you here, Russ, but with Jessica, I asked you about ejaculation. You said you didn't at that point. When did you ejaculate with Jessica?
The second time or third time that I had her for oral sex.
And was that at her residence or yours?
Hers.
Okay. Any other times that you ejaculated with her?
No.
Okay. When you ejaculated with Jessica, did you use anything to clean up or?
No.
What happened to the ejaculate?
She swallowed it.
So getting back to Marie France, it's just straight vaginal sex, no condom, no ejaculation. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. How long does that go for? Like how long were you engaged in that activity?
Well, hour and a half, 2 hours, I guess.
Okay. And then what happens next?
Well, as I described, I suffocated her using duct tape.
Why did you decide to do that?
Well, again, because of the pictures. As I described to you, it would have, it was going to be a pretty straight line back to Tweed.
Okay. But why did you decide to use that method versus something else?
I had thought about strangling her earlier. That's on the video.
What is?
My, well, it was a short-lived attempt because she struggled quite a bit. And then I decided that I needed to suffocate her.
So there was a short-lived attempt at strangling her? And what's on the video, the suffocation or the strangling?
Well, just me putting my hand on her throat. And then her responding. No surprise, very aggressively.
Okay. Any videos of the suffocation part or pictures of that? Now you mentioned that you brought the rope with you. Where did the duct tape come from?
I brought it.
Okay. And what did you do with it afterwards?
I think it stayed in Tweed.
What color of duct tape are we talking about? I know it comes in a variety of colors, but
Gray.
great. So before the suffocation, Obviously, how long do you think you were with her from the point? Well, how long do you think you were in that house from the point you went in that window to the point you left?
Probably 4 hours.
Okay. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you say you got there at 11, or around 11?
I think that's right.
So you left around 3 in the morning.
Well, I was in the basement for quite a while before she came down. She wasn't going to bed. So I was probably in the basement for 30, 40 minutes.
Okay.
So by the time she saw me, it was probably closer to midnight.
All right.
But I didn't have a watch on, so I'm not sure.
Any gloves?
I don't think so.
Did you wear gloves with Jessica?
Only to get in the house. It was a very cold night.
And what about the 2 women in tweed?
No gloves.
So while you're with Marie Franz, what kind of conversations are taking place? Anything she said to you stick out in your mind?
No, I taped her mouth. There's no conversation.
Okay. When did you tape her mouth?
As soon as I got her up to the bedroom,
Why did you decide to do that?
because she was quite aggressive.
In what way?
I was confident she was
Good
she
for
would have
her.
screamed.
I hope she heard him.
What way
That
was
she
she?
did initially
Did she?
in the basement.
So in what way was she aggressive?
Well, just in, when she discovered me, she was very vocal, screamed quite a bit until I subdued her. So I expected she would scream again, given the chance.
Do you remember how you left her residence?
Back door, patio door.
Did you take anything with you that night?
Some of her underwear.
Anything else?
No.
All right. Did you do anything else to try and cover your tracks with Marie Franz?
Well, I had turned off my BlackBerry before I left Trenton. Other than that, no.
Do you remember trying to destroy any kind of evidence there, or anything you thought may have produced evidence or anything?
Oh, I took her sheets off the bed and ran them through the laundry.
Like the laundry where?
In her house.
Did you run them completely through? Did you wait for it to finish, or?
No, I just put them in and put a whole bunch of bleach in and let it go.
So the night you went to her house and got there at 11, you came from where? Like you said, you left Trenton. You turned off your BlackBerry. You talking about the base, or are you talking about where did you leave to go to her house?
Well, no, I just turned off my BlackBerry before I left the Trenton area. I would have left from the base after work.
All right. What time do you think you turned your BlackBerry off?
Well, it's only a half-hour drive to Brighton, so yeah, probably in the 9:30 range.
Do you remember what What time you would have turned it back on?
And I was back on the 401 heading to Ottawa the next morning.
What time would that have been?
So 6 plus or minus 30 minutes.
So you leave her house 3-ish.
No, I think it was later than that. So the 4 hours obviously was, I think I went in about 11, was in the basement for quite a while. Probably left her house closer to 4:30, somewhere there.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta go deal with you
And
here.
where you
I
going?
gotta go deal with him. I'll be right back.
I drove to Ottawa.
Straight to Ottawa?
Yeah.
Did you go by your house in Tweed or anything, or did you just go straight?
No.
Remember what route you took?
Yeah, 401, but from her place, I think I went straight north on whatever the road is that goes straight through Brighton up to the 401, hit the 401 and headed east.
And so you're going to, what's the meeting you're having that day in Ottawa? Remind me.
Meeting on the C-17 acquisition project.
Okay. And who ran that meeting?
The project manager, Miss Sue Hale.
Is that the only meeting around that time period you would have went to on that issue with Sue Hale? There wasn't like a weekly meeting or anything like that? Okay.
No, this is sort of a quarterly.
All right. So the night this happened, where did you park that night?
As I said, across the gravel little roadway, it's probably the same road.
Similar location to the first night?
Yeah.
All right. Same vehicle?
Yeah, truck.
All right. Okay, let's talk about seeing as we're going backwards in time here, why don't we talk about the second incident in Tweed? With Lori Massakai. And it's a 76 Cozy Cove. How did you decide on her?
I knew she lived alone.
How did you know that?
She lived 3 doors down and didn't know her, but I knew she was pretty lone. She had a boyfriend and hadn't been around. Looked in the window and she was alone.
So she had a boyfriend, but he wasn't too frequent? Okay.
Well, he wasn't. She told me that they were fighting, so that's why he hadn't been there.
Okay. So, did you look in her house before the night that this incident happened, or when did you do that?
I had been in within the week. Probably a couple of nights earlier.
What did you do that night?
I looked around to see if there are any permanent signs of her boyfriend, I guess. Took 1 or 2 pieces of her underwear. That's all.
Okay. So the night you go there, when the incident happens, do you remember what time that was?
Sorry, we have massive dog drama. They are in their crates with their little peanut butter Kong thing to pacify them. So here we go.
It was pretty late. I probably got into the house around midnight. She was asleep on the couch. Well, I didn't know that, but I knew she was in there.
And how'd you get in, sorry?
Window in the back of the house. There's a little sunroom.
Was it just something you had to slide, or how did you
I had
get
to
that?
remove the screen and slide it up.
Okay.
So I got into the house and she was asleep in front of the TV.
Wearing anything on your face that night?
Yeah, same things.
The headband and the cap? Okay.
Yeah, a little pair of panties.
What kind of clothes did you have on?
Just dark sweatshirt.
Little 2-piece number.
So she's asleep on the couch, you're in there, and then what happens?
We have been through this, eh?
I know.
I struck her with the flashlight, thinking it would knock her out. It didn't. We struggled. I subdued her. Took some pictures. Left. It's probably in the house about 2.5 hours.
It's a pretty short description for 2.5 hours.
Well, yeah, we talked.
We talked.
I told her I wasn't going to hurt her.
Like she wanted to hang out and have a conversation with him.
I told her that there were other guys in the house robbing her. My job was just to control her.
My job was just to control her.
What did she say to that?
She was scared. Sorry, she was going to be seriously hurt.
He's 100% the type that I think would go to stripper bars and legitimately think that they fell in love with him. And then also be like, no, I can't. I'm going to turn you down. I'm going to reject you. You know what I'm saying?
Did she say that, or did you just assume that?
No, she said that. She was worried she was going to be killed. I said, I'm not going to kill him.
What did you do with, you said you took pictures of her, clothed, unclothed?
Both. Clothed initially and then unclothed.
Are you in any of those
Good point,
pictures?
Trish.
I don't think so.
You just took them of her? What kind of camera are you using, by the way?
Let's talk about those pictures, Russ.
It's a digital sign.
You just have the one camera?
Yeah. And the video camera.
Also, they're two separate?
Yeah.
Some cameras take video, right? And where is the camera and the video camera?
In Tweed.
Is it the only camera and video camera in that house?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you take pictures of her, and how do you end up leaving? Like you,
I just told her to, I don't know, count or wait for a number of minutes before she called the police.
and did you leave immediately, or did you stay there for a while,
Oh, I left.
see what she was going to do, or?
I left.
Happy belated birthday,
and where do you go?
Danielle.
Home.
Straight home? Did you wait to see if the police showed up or anything, or?
Well, I mean, it's
So what did you do when you got
a
home?
couple hundred feet. I went to sleep.
Just went to
What did
sleep.
you do the next day?
Went to work. Normal time.
Okay.
A couple hours later.
Like
All right.
nothing happened.
Do you remember how?
Okay, one thing I was just thinking before we keep going. Imagine what this dude was like on regular days at work, like the weird underline or like stuff. And I saw somebody say where a coworker said they didn't see anything. I would love to know what his behavior was like all the way from interacting to whether he was like saying charge of somebody to like, promote them or things like that with women at work. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, I feel like it had to play out in some way at work, in the field, whether it was like, oh yeah, you know what, we went back and he never, I'm making this up, promoted women, or he never did anything like that, or you see where I'm going with this? Because it's just like, I feel like whatever it is that he had towards women, whether he looks at them as like, prey, or he hates them, or whatever he has going on, I just feel like I would love to know how that psychologically played out day to day at work before obviously he killed some of his coworkers and whatnot.
Her clothing was removed?
Well, because her hands were tied behind her back, I think I cut off her top and then pulled off her bottom.
What did you use to cut her top?
I can't remember if it was a knife or like a folding X-Acto knife or Leatherman or one of the two.
Are these items that are in your house in Tweed?
Yep.
Okay. Was there ever any other time you used a knife to cut off clothing or anything else? Do you remember?
I cut off Jessica's top with a knife. So her hands were tied behind her back.
He enjoyed that.
That's all.
Where's that knife? Which knife did you use that time?
That was the leather.
That was leather?
Tweed.
Is it the only Leatherman in Tweed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So on the 16th of September, when you went in that night, was that the first time you've been in her house?
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks for
And
being a
why
member
her?
for 4 months, Samantha.
Just because I'd seen her and she was cute. That's it.
Okay. So there was no, you didn't go into her house before that night?
No.
All right. So you go in, and how'd you get into her house?
Side window. The was not locked.
Make sure all your windows are locked.
Window, curled in.
Okay. And what you wearing?
Same. Sweatshirt, dark pants.
The same hat and.
Same undergarments.
And where do you find?
In bed, sleep.
Okay. And what do you do?
Stood over her for a while, and I hit her on the left side of her head. Just with my hand. Just woke her up. We struggled. Just lay on her. And very much like I described a little bit ago, took off her, pulled her top down, and took off her pants. Took some pictures, left.
Do you remember her saying anything to you?
Okay, like imagine, so you know what it's like to like wake up in the middle of the night just on your own. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it's you got to go to the bathroom or whatever. There's that level of like normalcy. Then there's I'm making this up, the dog barked and woke me up, or the power flickered and woke me up. It's not a natural waking up, but almost. How difficult that is for your brain to get going. Imagine waking up. Number one, you're waking up this dude hitting you on the side of the head. right? And then going into this and being like, I think I would pass out, or like that woman have a seizure. Like, I can't fathom it. Just oh my, and like how your brain would be trying to process what's going on, and then obviously once your senses got going, your adrenaline would be going, and you'd be in that like insane amount of fear. I cannot fathom what they went through. I think God forbid one that you recognize your coworker, right? Oh, okay, here we go.
Yes.
What did she say to you?
All kinds of things. She had a young baby just next door, the other room, 8 months or so. Was obviously concerned about the baby, concerned for herself. I assured her I was not going to hurt her physically, you know.
Any underwear taken from or Lori?
Yep, both.
And where would they be located?
In tweed.
He's like, I'm currently wearing them.
And why are they in tweed as opposed to Marie Franz and Jessica's underwear?
I don't know.
Do you remember how much of their underwear you took?
Not very much from Lori.
Did they know that you took their underwear?
I don't know.
You didn't discuss it with them or anything? So where in tweed would their underwear be?
In the there's a laundry room area.
Okay.
Just between the house and the garage.
Right. So where in that laundry room area would they be kept?
There's a cupboard up top. They're in a duffel bag.
What's the duffel bag look like?
It's a green army duffel bag.
Are they all in the same duffel bag? Is there anything else in that duffel bag?
Just underwear.
Okay. When these pictures are looked at, you talked about being in Marie Franz's underwear on the first night you went in. Did you take photographs of that?
Yep.
What about anybody else's underwear?
Photos.
Of you in their underwear?
Mhm.
And where were those photos taken?
He had to stand up.
Well, sometimes in Marie France's case, in her house. The others in my house.
In tweed?
Mhm.
So is this a matter you would take the underwear, go back, and then at some point put the underwear on and take pictures? What about Jessica's underwear?
She's only her. Right?
So you don't have pictures of you in her underwear?
No.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess I just have a couple of questions for you. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be more questions, but I guess what's on my mind right now, Russ, is what made you decide to tell me this tonight?
Mostly to make my wife's life easier.
Is what you told me tonight the truth?
Yeah.
How do you feel about what you've done? Like what?
Disappointed.
Let me ask you this: if this didn't come to the point it's at right now, if for whatever reason you didn't end up on our radar, so to speak, do you think it would have happened again?
Absolutely.
I was hoping not. But I can't answer the question.
I was hoping not.
Not too much here, Russ. Just a few details that I wanted to cover off, specifically dealing with Marie France. In the basement of her house, there's a hole in the drywall. Do you recall how that happened?
Whereabouts?
I don't know specifically, but it's downstairs.
I don't remember that. No.
Okay. Do you remember doing anything with her in the basement where you may have used some clothing or something to secure her?
Yeah, I tied her up against one of the poles in the basement initially. I went outside and put the screen back on and secured the window.
While she was tied to the pole?
Yep.
And what was your thinking behind doing that at that point?
Just to cover up how I'd come in.
Okay. Now, by the time she's tied to that pole, is that in the very initial few minutes kind of thing of the confrontation, or?
That was shortly after I'd subdued her and tied her up, yes.
Okay. Does she have the duct tape on her mouth yet?
I think probably.
Okay.
The pictures will show it.
All right. Now, in the upstairs bathroom by her bedroom, there's looks like something's occurred in there. Do you remember that?
Yep.
What happened there?
She had passed out on the bed, and I had gone to look out the front window, see if anybody was coming. And she got up and closed the bedroom door and raced into the bathroom trying to get somebody's attention. But her mouth was taped and her hands were tied.
Okay. What did you do as a result of that?
Well, I just got in and subdued her again and got her back into the bedroom. Didn't do anything, just regain control of her.
Okay. If I remember correctly, there's a bit of blood in there. Do you know where that blood would have, how that would have occurred?
All the blood was from the initial hits as I was trying to subdue her.
Okay.
Her skin breaking with the blows to her head.
Okay. Do you recall blood being in the bathroom?
No, actually, I didn't have a light on in there, but it didn't surprise me.
Okay. There's a pair of underwear and some socks on the floor of that bathroom that belonged to her. Do you remember how they got there?
I don't
remember seeing them?
see them.
What do you recall doing to her breasts? It's pretty clear that there was something happened to her breasts. Do you remember what that might have been?
No, I certainly touched her breasts. I didn't do anything to hurt them.
I remember that?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, Russ,
Now, when I suffocated her, she was on her front. So may have been something there. But,
What do you mean?
well, she was lying on the floor in the bedroom as I suffocated her and obviously struggled. May have been in there that something happened, but I didn't do anything specific to her breasts.
Okay. So when you suffocate her, that's when you had the duct tape over her mouth and nose, and that's on the floor?
Yeah.
And then what happens after that?
Well, she died, and I then took the duct tape off her head and put her on the bed and covered her up with duvet.
Okay. And what was your thinking behind doing that?
Really.
As you might expect here, Russ, certainly even now, one of the Ottawa investigators mentioned to me that there's a number of incidents that have gone unsolved over the years.
Can I was going to get into that. Can I go to the washroom quickly?
Yeah, I can get somebody to take you to the washroom. Okay.
Okay, that's the end of that video there. Y'all, I don't even know what to say about this absolute psychopath. This is one of the worst ones I've seen. Yeah, Stitch says he's got to get rid of this undies. I mean, oh my gosh. The way he just describes it is absolutely bone chilling. Okay, I'm so tired looking. I apologize. I mean, yo. Oh, and what it was killing him to admit that he was wearing the panties and stuff. It was killing him, right? But see, I was like, literally, I was like, I want to see him humiliated. The other way, he's like, "Can I go to the bathroom?" It's like, yeah, we'll get somebody to go with you, honey. Right? Yeah, we're not just you're not on free time here anymore, okay? I mean, and the way that the thing that hold on, I got so many thoughts going on. Number one, the way he tells on himself, by the way he views people, by the way he views the victims, the way he views women, where like when they're like, how do you feel? He's like disappointed. Because you would expect like a human, like somebody with like human feelings or whatever, to be like, I feel absolutely horrible. I can't believe what I've done. This is the depravity. I've destroyed these people, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But like disappointed. And honestly, it's like disappointed that probably they got caught, right? I mean, he still seems to be, he doesn't really seem to view them as people. Oh, Emily says, I haven't seen Citizen X. Oh, I have to watch that. Oh God. His pictures in the panties were on the front pages. I love that for him too. Brittany says his pictures in his panties were on the front page of the newspaper. Yeah, absolutely love that for him. Absolutely. Bye, Tori. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, and the way that he's like going on about the house, and the way that he was so comfortable, like, oh yeah, I left her body there and then went like wherever and then home the next day. And I'm like, aren't you like completely nervous? Even if it's like your house. You know what I mean? I'm like, what if something happened? And I mean, I guess if you hid the body at the house, you're like, well, people aren't going to expect that. But it's like, nonetheless, I'm still just like, what? And the whole part was like, well, he almost talked about it like they were on a date. That was also unsettling, where he's like, well, we talked, well, we went to sleep. And I'm like, what? Huh? No. No. And the way you could go to sleep during all that, I'm like, and then get up and go to work the next day. I mean, my gosh. Yeah. Max says it was like a blind date cap interview. Yeah, that was so bizarre. Oh, and the way that one lady who had the seizure, God bless her, and he's like, yeah, I made sure she didn't bite her tongue. I would have been thinking he's gonna let me go. Now, regardless of the seizure or not, like I would have been thinking, oh, he's gonna let me go. I think like the human brain would just be doing that, like on these circumstances, especially when he kind of fooled them into thinking that. Because you heard him say a couple of times where he's like, well, we were leaving and she probably thought she was going home, and then I hit her with a flashlight. So that she's like, oh my God, I can survive this. I'm going to call this person as soon as I get wherever. And then bam. And there's some parts that you could tell that he was like aware or self-conscious. But no growl. We are all very, very turned up this evening. Russell has this house rustled, doesn't he? The boys are fighting. I'm doing it to protect my wife. Okay. Yeah, I love that they splashed his little sultry pictures all over the internet. But even just like, so take out before he gets to the murders, right? When he's like talking about like breaking into the house and like taking pictures and taking their panties and like the whole concept of someone being in your home, especially if you're in the home, right, and they're hiding out, even if they don't kill you, but like that whole thing about the dude who was living in the person's ceiling, and was like coming down while she went to work, but never harmed her. It was like maybe he's like a homeless guy or something. That freaks me out so bad. Then when you get into like, there's a nefarious reason for them coming into your house, like they're doing stuff with your underwear and like creepy stuff and like watching you sleep, and oh my God. That's the whole thing. Now, regardless of like what one thinks, like, who did what, when you sit here and start talking about like, the case that comes to my mind is the Ramseys, the John Benet Ramsey, because you know how they're all like, oh, that house had so many, weird twists and turns in it. And somebody could be hiding in that house for a week and you would never know it. That's what I think too when I see these big mansions and stuff where you have to have like literal staff. I'm talking like even beyond a 10,000 square foot home. Like I'm talking these mega mansions and stuff like that. I'm like, how do you know? I mean, besides security and stuff like that, like that somebody's not in there. You know what I mean? Like there's so many. I would feel like I had to examine every single room before I went to bed at nighttime. Right? Like there's no way. If it was like, oh, get on the golf cart, we have to go check out the pool house place. That would last 1 week, right? I'd be like, forget this. Oh, that's interesting. Adam's family. Oh, excuse me. I know, right? I was literally just thinking the same thing, Jay, where I was like, this is like, you know, gosh, it says, I do that now and I live in a little house. I mean, literally. You just never know. That whole thing about that when the kid who was living in the walls of the house, and then I cannot think of the name of it. It was this it's a very famous story of the girl who was living in an apartment, and it was on what is that woman's podcast? She has such like a very calm voice, and she interviews really interesting people. I can't remember, but anyways, and she was talking about how the way she knew somebody was in her house is her house flooded. Well, no, this is one of the first telltale signs. The apartment flooded, and her puppy, who she, I guess, would leave in the bathroom during the day, was in the sink area. And it was basically like she knew there's no way the dog could have gotten here. So someone had to have put the dog out of out of the water's way, whatever it was that took place. And then she was taking a bath, and she was like, and I don't know how to explain this, but like, I'm doing this over here. So like, pretend I drew a bath and I'm in the hot water, and odd things have been going on, but you don't expect that. You know what I'm saying? And so she's like, I'm sitting here and I look up and I see the attic space, like the thing that the board that covers it is ajar. And she was like, and in that moment, every single thing came, it all made sense. She was like, it all just hit me in that moment. And she was like, and the only place, this is giving me goosebumps, y'all. She was like, the only place in the apartment that the guy could have been, or whoever it was in the closet. And she was like, so imagine like, imagine you're in your like an apartment where the bathroom's like you have to go to the bedroom to get the bathroom. So she was like, there's no other way to get out than to walk past the closet, right? And she's like, I literally, y'all. Long story short, she gets her robot. She doesn't act bizarre. She doesn't act scared. She's like, I didn't want to freak out for fear that they would freak out and jump out, whatever. And she's like, I got my stuff and then I put my little things on. I grabbed my dog and then ran the hell out of that apartment and called like her brother-in-law. It's like she had moved to this town because her sister and brother-in-law lived there. And she called there and like calls all the people like, oh my God, whatever. And yeah, they got there and they found a little like, somebody had been living in the attic space above these apartments. And when she was going to work, they were coming down into the apartment and doing whatever whatever it was they needed to do. She would notice little things like, I thought that I had 3 cans of green beans. Like just little things that you don't notice, or I thought I left this here, or didn't I turn the lights up, y'all? And she said, really what it seemed like is it was a homeless person that didn't want to harm me. But she was like, how long had they been watching everything I did? Y'all, please. Oh, Lindsay, I know what you're talking about. That movie is good. Yeah, so if you think about it too, um, with her dog getting older, because she was like, clearly what was happening is when I was going to work, once she got the dog, the dude or the woman, whoever it was, probably a dude, but whoever it was clearly interacting with the dog. So the dog was used to the person, right? Because they weren't alerting or alarm, like, this wasn't whatever. And whoever it was clearly quiet enough. In the evenings, they probably ate, did all this during the day, and then went and camped out in the ceiling. Please. Oh my gosh. Oh, happy face. Oh, I want to look at that. Now let's go over here and look at our what do you call it? Shibby-dibby-doo. Where are you? Shibby-dibby-doo. Boom. Okay, let's do this. Boom. Boom. Interesting. Okay, so do y'all see the thing for the vote? So it was really close. 37% wins out with Chandler Halderson. So we'll do Chandler next. And then if nothing else pops up, we'll do Nancy. And what we'll do with Nancy, because I had to think about it, because I was like, well, she could keep us going for 3 or 4 weeks, right? I think we'll do the state cross-examining her. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll do the state cross-examining it, because I felt like when she's on the stand with her own attorney, it's such a cringe fest and it goes on for days. I felt like yeah, we should all read one of her books first, right? So I feel like she gets more pressed when the state cross-examines her or whatever. So yeah, Nancy would be a good palate cleanser after this one. And yeah, I tried finding some that weren't on like I don't know how you say it, like a channel that would be okay to stream from, and I couldn't find on the Pam Hupp ones, like say Law and Crime or Court TV or stuff like that. I could only find it from like other things or whatever. I don't know. If y'all find ones, email it to me or let me know. Because Pam Hupp was going to be on there too. Her name came up a lot, and I looked it up, and I couldn't find one that I was like, I don't know about this. Okay, now Deidre says that Wendy Adelson is doing a deposition for the trial of Donald Adelson. We love every second of that. Oh, yes. Can't believe she's not in jail. Somebody else mentioned Russell Jones Culinary. I need to look him up too. So what we'll do is this. So Thursday will be Chandler Halderson. And that one goes on for a while. We'll kind of vibe it out. We're gonna watch it on, I forget where if it's on Law and Crime or another one. You'll want your earbuds for it because it's like courtroom version of it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the cop car ride. And thank you for that for Forever Wonder. I'll see if I can find that one. Did they show it in court? Oh, Sherry Papini is a good one. I forgot about that one. That's a good one. That's like a good over the top one. You know what I'm saying? Like a ridiculous one. Oh, Letitia Stout for sure. What we might end up doing too is like a different live chat, not the Thursday one, because when I say a lot, like say 2 or 3 people hit me up today talking about, and I don't even know the name of it, but it's a dude who testified, the military dude, I think he is right now going on, who killed somebody, and he was like basically trying to excuse it away. We might watch that one too, just because, and now I'm intrigued. Definitely Jodi Arias. That one came up too. Definitely Jodi Arias. We have to. Like that's almost a grand finale, right? He killed his wife. Okay. Okay, y'all. Oh, excuse me. So I gotta go, y'all. I'm tired. I gotta get up and do it all over again tomorrow. As I'm sure y'all are tired too. Thank you for getting through this one with me. My goodness. This one was horrible, right? This was horrible. So, but I'm glad we watched it together. Emily, thank you for holding it down. Hey, Smog, how's it going? Good to see your. I always say good to see your face. Good to see your name/face. Thank you, Emily, for holding it down. Thank you, Indy, for holding it down. Thank you, Tori, for holding it down. Shuba dooba dooba doo. Ooh, Israel Keys would be good too. Does he even say anything in his? It's been so long since I watched it. But anyways, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I do appreciate y'all hanging out. Thank you for making it through this monster. We will start with Chandler Halderson on Thursday. Tomorrow will be Zizzy and Colt on the main channel. And that's it. Y'all have a lovely evening, and I shall see y'all live on a Thursday. And so there you go. I love y'all. I will see you soon. Sweet dreams, everybody.